So yeah, sorry everyone. I I closed the last video a bit too early, but it's maybe for the best. So I'm just gonna do a part 2 here, because there was a whole section of the comments I missed. Look at this. This is a whole fucking discussion here. I don't care anymore right now what time I go to bed, but we need to cover this. And there was also this fixed meme that I'm going to have to show you. I skipped it for some reason, and I don't think I covered it, so we're going to check it out. Look at this, 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 look at this. This is such a I mean, Meninists are mostly assholes, sorry not sorry. Black people are mostly criminals, sorry not sorry. Oh wait, I would be a real asshole to say some shit like that. It's cool for you to do it though, keep up the good work to achieve equality. No, Meninists are just whining about something they've had forever, oppression over women. You can scream, but what about us when it has been all about us forever? They bitch and moan about women getting rights while continuing to oppress women, harass them, threaten them, and then claim to be oppressed when people call them out on their bullshit. You're being very Bernie right now. Very Bernie. I mean, this sounds so... Who cares if he's being Bernie, you know? Bernie wouldn't mind if he steps out of line once in a while. I mean, you're doing it all the time, look at you. My nigga says, no, sorry, not sorry. Good game. Third wave feminism is like oppression over women and women's rights. I don't exactly get what he means right now. Michael Henderson, thank you for explaining that so perfectly. Hey, you know, thousands and thousands of men get raped in prison while the whole nation lets it happen. Men populate a healthy 1/3 of all domestic abuse victims. Talking about harassment. Okay. It's not a competition about who gets raped more. Feminism is about stopping rape altogether. Sure it is. You know, you tell yourself that at night. I have never seen a major Meninist group stand up for transgender men, men of color, abused men, or men who are raped. You know what major movements actually stand up for those people? Feminists. Oh, sure they do. They do for trans men and men of color, maybe. But not for abused men and men who are raped. They don't give a shit about men. Especially white men. Meninist groups are just a bunch of white guys whining about how they aren't special enough for their own movement. Why do all Meninists want to be oppressed so badly? Why do all feminists want to be oppressed so badly? Meninists don't want to be oppressed, that's the whole point. Michael Henderson, that's the most delusion bullshit I've ever heard. This is America 2016. Women are just as responsible for oppressing women as men are. With your mentality, we never make progress or count the progress we've made. You think men aren't under the weight of social stereotypes? I'm gonna like every single fucking comment they make. You think we've kept women in poverty? You think that we've passed down healthy family gender role ideologies? That shit is not female oppression. That's everybody thing. That's an everybody thing. First wave feminism eradicated the oppressive shit. Second wave solidified those actions, fair dues. But now women have actual advantages over men, which remains undisputed, and you're talking about being oppressed. Nah, wrong country, and I suggest you re-advise your political priorities. Joshua Long, this is why no one takes first world feminism seriously. Feminism isn't just about the US, it's about all women and men everywhere. You thinking of something different if you honestly believe that what you're saying that feminism is. My vagina was cut into a razor with a rusty razor blade. Oh, I know, sister. Someone asked me to coffee in an elevator. Patriarchy, am I right? I find that kind of confusing. I'm not sure what he means by that. Then why the fuck should it still be called feminism? Because it was a movement started by women for women. Over the years it has progressed to be an equal rights movement for everyone, but is still mostly funded and kept going by women. That's why it's called feminism. So we don't care. We don't want feminism. Let's be fair. Its time has come. Because it was a movement... okay, sorry. If what you're talking about is ending rape, then that shouldn't be called feminism. It should be called he for she. It shouldn't be called it shouldn't be called he for she. It should be about rape. Why do you think there's infighting over the true meaning of feminism? There's a true meaning of the feminist movement, which has been twisted by extremist women who believe it should just be about destroying men's rights as well. Feminism is equality, not men over women, which is why there's a true meaning and a twisted meaning. Now you got it backwards. Meninists stood up and marched for custody rights and rape, but there was a less subtle reaction from feminists, and that standing up didn't seem like a great idea. Sydney Koss, I think that's a ridiculous assertion that denies the impact of all the men in the feminist movement. You think half the population could do that? Not even half the population, the half that agrees with feminism. Even if you took half of half, you would have 25%. No, men were there hand in hand making this revolution happen. Among others by means of technology, for example, the kind of revolution the vacuum cleaner and the dishwasher and the washing machine in the first place, all that neat stuff women could use to speed up their duties at home and get more free time. But that's not enough. No, they wanted to have careers as well, and nobody's telling them not to. It's just then you have to act like people who have careers who up to now have been men. The I don't know. Let's continue. But there's dispute between non-extremist parties of the extremist movement, of the feminist movement. Okay, well, I'm gonna step down from this considering it's my baby's bath time, so we'll have to agree to disagree. Okay. Listen, there is loud fringes to any movement that will rub people the wrong way. The problem with Meninists is that when feminists say, oh hey, we're fighting for that too, they say, no, fuck you, this is about us. So what's the difference then with Black Lives Matter then and All Lives Matter? Why aren't Meninists allowed to do that and Black Lives Matter are, And in that case I agree, it's the same thing. Meninists aren't anti-feminists. Feminists who are anti-Meninist. Michael Henderson, that's a stereotype, but I've heard the same thing from feminists. Rape is so hard on women. Hey, we're fighting against that too. Shut the fuck up, you cis white male privileged fuck. Don't talk over me. Don't mansplain the problem. Stop derailing our conversation and our movement. Rah, 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 rah. So don't pretend that this isn't the type of feminism these hipster Meninists are against. But wouldn't it be more efficient to just work under one established movement? Why bother with making a mockery of another well-established movement? Because it's not well-established anymore. It's rotten at the core and it's caving in. It's crumbling under its own weight, I'm a feminist. I don't believe like it hurts my masculinity saying that. All it means to me is I don't like people getting treated like shit. Yeah, good for you if that means that for you, but if that's the case, you're an exception. And I mean, you're a guy, so you still have to sympathize with your own gender. I mean, look at the like counts on this entire thread, not just this sub-thread. They're getting all the likes, you know. I'm liking all their posts. Just in case. Michael Henderson, they are making a mockery of themselves. No one needs to help them do that, and don't act like the movement is above criticism. I am a supporter of facts, truth and logic, something that these people who have co-opted the mantle of feminism have very little of. They are part of the outrage culture and do not represent the movement or the people. They are the Tea Party Taliban of feminism. No, you're not, dude. You're bitching about men not having rights, which is ridiculous. So bitching about women not having rights is good. Bitching about men and boys not having rights is bad. Teach me, Michael. Jesus Christ, man, nobody's trying to make life harder for you. We just want to make life better for everyone, everywhere. That may include some completely reasonable compromise, but that's how life works. So now you think that oppression is making life harder for other people. Okay, well, no one is trying to make life harder for women in the US. So now that you've changed the subject yet again, why do you support Meninism? Like specifically, what is the one issue that makes you speak so passionately about it? I consider myself a feminist, and I've generally thought of Meninists as being very shitty in my experiences with them. Kind of the equivalent of All Lives Matter to Black Lives Matter. No, it's the other way around. Sorry to say it. I also think that men being raped is not okay. It's not okay that men don't feel like they can speak out about it. It's not okay they get made fun of it for the same that it for it the same that it's not okay for a woman to be blamed for what she wore. Rape is not okay for anyone ever. It should never be swept away and blamed on the victim, no matter what gender they are. There's a lot more to it, and I can't speak for the super radical feminists that talk about every man thing being horrible. That's not me, and that's not my feminism. It's a very twisted version of it, and it's not okay. I don't know, there are different societal structures that don't really allow people to be themselves and standing up to allow people the fairness and dignity to be who they are and to be treated equally is what feminism is to me. It might have started out as being a movement to bring women up, but it's morphed into seeing different areas that need work and striving for equality, and fairness is in those areas. Also, where I live, there are still traditional thinking men that try to make life harder for women, either by lack of education or die-hard grasping of traditionalist thinking. It might not be what it was, but it can still be better. What is wrong with traditionalism? I really don't get that. You know, because both MRAs and feminists keep bashing on traditionalism. Traditional thought only means that, you know, you're going to marry someone, at least in regards to, you know, to family and to gender issues, I guess. Is that you're for marriage, you know, you know, maybe you're even that you don't want sex before marriage, you know, and the wife stays at home and looks after the kids, and you go to work and earn your bread. If the wife prefers that, you know, if you're in a situation where it's possible to live that way, and the wife prefers to stay at home and take care of the kids instead of work her ass off and you know, and never have time to get around that, then what's wrong with it? Why shouldn't they? And after scrolling, I see that you've already had this discussion with someone else, Matthew Stanfield. Michael Henderson, I don't support isms at all. Okay, fair enough, but why are you so fired up about this? Which part? The part that trivializes men's opinions, or the part that trivializes men's issues, or the part that trivializes men's rights? I don't think anyone is trivializing anything except a perceived trivialization. I certainly don't feel like anything is involving my gender is being trivialized. Yeah, maybe, maybe you're the lucky kind of guy who doesn't have to worry about these kinds of things, Maybe you have a nice girlfriend and everything's going smooth for you, but not everybody... Not everybody is as lucky as you are, buddy. I mean... That's because you haven't been socialized to see all the ways in which men suffer or are marginalized or taken advantage of. Do men need to check their privilege? By, what was it again? Based feminist or something? Based mom? Feminism and the disposable male. 3 men make a tiger. Three men make a tiger, Chinese. Shandren Cheng Yu, or something like that. It's a Chinese proverb of Cheng Yu, a 4-character idiom. Oh, that's interesting. 3 men make a tiger refers to an individual's tendency to accept absurd information as long as it is repeated enough by enough people. It refers to the idea that if an unfounded premise of urban legend is mentioned and repeated by many individuals, the premise will be erroneously accepted as the truth. This concept is analogous to communal reinforcement or the fallacy of argumentum ad populum. I got a message here. Okay. Feminism has become distorted by fueling the movement with passion, while it started gag-herring momentum, the prime motive being about rape. And now a bunch of people are seriously passionate about rape, a relatively negligible issue in society. We have a lot bigger issues at hand, so we should probably not encourage passion in movements, and we should encourage perspective of other people's arguments. Fighting off non-believers and glorifying our own movement was the death of feminism, a very large and walking but all the same decaying bag of corpses. Holy shit, this guy is a poet. I mean, you just happen to be one of those passionate evangelists that just becomes easily swayed by momentum and doesn't really have 2 brain cells to rub together. No offense. That happens to be the large populace of people, sheep or pawns if you will. You support feminism, you get a sticker, a pat on the head, and told you're supporting a wonderful global cause and girls will like you. Obviously, that's a very enticing momentum. But it is guided by ideological incest and now is little more than a cesspool of debates made by witty arguments. You and a million other people stole from someone in an endless echo of chanting idiots. You mean well, now let's actually do the important stuff. Step down and let an intellect take your place. Ooh la la. Joshua Long, I wanted to frame this comment. Well, you got a video of it. Look at it that way. FB isn't even notifying me about the comments on here anymore. Maybe it's for the best, Yeah, stereotyping people is hilarious. Bahaha. Oh man, that's a good one. All men are evil. Yep, funny. I get it now. I went over in my head before, but now I get it. Ah, that's really nice. Use your words. Are you a Meninist? If not, it doesn't mean you donut. Kelly Swainson McFadden, yeah, I'm not Jewish either. It doesn't mean I just step out of the way when the Holocaust train comes into town. Because that's reasonable and fitting analogy. Does that undermine his argument? We got the gruesome twosome here. This is pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty much. Just because I'm not part of every persecuted minority doesn't mean I don't feel their pain as a rational, thinking human being. You know, I'm thinking of making this video part 1 and the other one part 2, so it's gonna be interesting. I might have to make something of an intro to explain this to people. I guess, or this one's gonna be the prequel. You know, I'm gonna post it afterwards, but it's like the Star Wars series. I guess only she's got. I guess only she should be for she's. No he's allowed. Only feminists support feminism. Invoking Godwin's. Maybe I should add him as well, though. I like this guy. I've seen him on other posts as well. I think I've read some of his stuff on one of my videos. I guess only she's. Oh yeah, she should be she's. Invoking Godwin's law undermines your own argument. Tell that to the majority of feminists who tell me I'm wrong for not agreeing with them and their penises. Sarah Wren Monholland. Invoking is not a law that calls anyone wrong. It just says that a one-point comparison will be made. Exactly. That got me laughing too hard in real life. All I'm saying is sometimes the genocide fits. Comparing everyone to Hitler is excessive. It's almost laughable how upset you are over this. I never said all men are evil. And I never said anything about black people being criminals. Obviously, you never said anything about black people being criminals. Holy shit, woman. You read what you wanted to read. Please take your dumb comments somewhere else. I'm curious about you, woman. Now, if you're free to spout what I feel is worthless shit meant to divide us, I'm gonna feel free to spout what you feel is worthless shit meant to unite us. Hear that, Alyssa? Stop stereotyping all men, damn it. Holla on the name, though. Okay. A few more replies. Come on. More! Alyssa K. Hey, if you don't understand the meme, could you stop quoting it? Hey Matthew, once you realize almost everybody didn't get your sarcasm and that's why they're hating on you. Could you stop acting like you're some intelligent god cool? Alyssa K, do you have original thoughts or do you just keep hoping to find the right bandwagon? Even if you had everyone to agree with you, it wouldn't make you correct. Notice how no one likes their comments. You third wavers are acting irrational. At least the second wave was rational. Go look up Christina Hoff Sommers on Facebook. She is a real feminist. She can teach you extremists a lesson about equality. Sorry, not trying to be weird or creepy, but I think you're like the most attractive female I've seen. I'm 100% straight, just had to throw that out there, sorry. What kind of a twat are you? Where did you, Holy shit, what is this? I wonder about your little sister, you know. What kind are you doing some kind of BDSM with her, you know? See what you's got. Sarah Johnson. Okay. Well, I guess you're just an airhead or something. But Gamergate. All evil feminists map patriarchy. MRAs need to get laid, but they don't know how. Pro tip, real women like people. SJWs only get laid because they are self-hating, indoctrinated misandrists. They know we've both said some ignorant, hurtful shit that accomplishes nothing. Keep telling yourself that there, buddy. Alas, Yorick, your stereotype is fine, but mine deserves just keep telling yourself that there, buddy. I will take your lack of suitable response beyond bullshit platitude as a sign of defeat, and I accept your apology. I've seen this happen before, it's interesting. That's what you have to tell yourself at night. I'm going to do something now so that you feel better, and I take your power. I'm going to give you the last word. Here it is. Say whatever you want. Dismissive wanking motion. I can do one better, alas. My arm is not long enough for the jerk motion that is in my soul. Lol, Matthew, you are being stereotypical Meninist. I've never met a serious Meninist. I just hear them mock feminism and give pretty dumb arguments. That's because there really aren't any Meninists. It's supposed to be a joke. The few that do exist respond to valid criticisms of feminist theory. No one is above criticism, but if you try, people lose their shit, and quickly you label you to marginalize and silence your voice. Does that methodology sound familiar? Not really. Most feminists I know, including myself, are pretty chill. Jensen X Nunez, oh, I know it, but it's not the chill ones, it's the loud ones that represent the movement. And you can't stop them from doing that by being chill, and honestly, you shouldn't have to. So they run rampant and make the movement look bad. I've met quite a few feminists, although that does not really their official terminology. They marched for custody rights till they were attacked violently and got death threats at their homes. The movement abruptly turned to debating whether or not Meninists are anti-feminists. Oh, you knew Meninists. Anti-feminists are supporters of custody rights on the internet and social media. Okay. Men's rights advocating for social and legal equality for men and boys. Whitney Hinrichsen, I didn't see the word Meninist in their title. So I can read what you quoted, or you can read what I wrote. Which is it? Yeah, those 115,000 dudes basically don't exist. Those aren't Meninists, yeah. It's not Meninist, it's misogynist. Well, that is true. Meninist is an actual thing. MRAs are dumb as hell. Robert Parker, we can agree on that. Most MRAs are annoying as hell. But there are plenty of groups looking out for men's rights and men and boys who, when they are victimized, are radically underserved. But Meninist is not an actual thing. Actually, interesting. But Meninist is not an actual thing. It's a Twitter account by a 15-year-old boy. Limao. Bro, feminists want equality for men and women. Calling yourself a Meninist as a man is going against yourself. Vanuhi Vartanian. She looks like Mila Kunis. No, I overestimated her. Okay, they're trying to be MRAs, but they're too uneducated to construct valid arguments, lol. Real MRAs are feminists. Seriously, I got a stroke from what I just read. Unfortunately, I know several dudes who identify as Meninists. They are the definition of angry 4chan users, though. Meninists aren't doing anything for anyone besides mocking feminists. Benui Vartanian, I don't think that's exactly true. Feminists have a focus, and it's not men's rights or helping male victims. You're wrong, Vanuhi. Actually, I was egalitarian for years, Matthew, but the fact is feminism is actually fighting for equal rights, while egalitarianism is just thinking everyone's equal. Yes, third wave feminism, man-haters exist, but just because they are the most vocal does not mean they are the majority. Feminism by definition is the belief that men and women have equal rights and opportunities. Well, I agree that the focus right now on women's rights because women are the more oppressed of the two. As a feminist, I speak up when I see men being mistreated by society for whatever reason. Well, that's cute, you know. And if I said that, feminists would say, good for you, but you have to speak up to make all men be like you. I'm not going to pull the same shit and say you have to speak for all feminists, but I speak for myself and feminists like myself. I cannot speak on the behalf of 16-year-old girls who don't even know who Susan B. Anthony is. Lol, I don't expect you to speak on behalf of all men either. That's not how society works. I would know I'm a suck major. Well, you know, you're an American hero. That's a good assessment. This is beautiful. Yeah, it certainly is. This proves that males, females, and the third option can be on the same page with equality. Long as they're all educated. Lol, education is the key here. Free higher education. Thanks, Bernie. Feel the burn. I'm almost getting a lump in my throat, seriously. Almost, because it's kinda, she may be just saying it, but I'm gonna take her word for it and not be an ass about this. Well, I would say we should play Spot the MRA, but I believe in games that have a little more of a challenge. SJWs assume anyone who is not on their side is an MRA, so it's really easy for them to play. And MRAs assume the same, try not to label anyone. We all have beliefs for some reason. I just want people to question those beliefs. Men's rights activists. Men complain about problems caused by other men and blaming it on feminists somehow. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, I'm too tired for this shit. And my browser is going slower and slower. This perfectly describes feminism. You think it's not conservative women opposing reproductive rights, but then they can't win either because that's just internalized misogyny. The current problem with both feminists and MRAs they seem to have trouble accepting the LGBTQA, anyone between genders and their rights. That's because they are specifically on a side. They don't want to really support you until you pick a side to be on. Men's issues are men's issues, women's issues are women's issues, and they feel that trans issues are really a whole other thing. Sorry, I didn't want to end like this. Not dank. Meninists are a satire. Bernie understands satire. Meninists are not feminazis. Exactly. Fuck my life, Bernie bros are real. I thought Hillary made it up. And there we go with the Bernie bros again. Yep, anyone who doesn't accept your hateful narrative is just part of the problem. Why won't they accept that they are part of the problem that you insist they are part of? It's so weird. Some more about this shitlord. Whine some more about it, shitlord. Ha ha ha, left my ass off. Bronies for Bernie. Spot the Meninist. See, people, Meninists do not exist. It's just a mockery of something called feminism, which is basically people looking for equal rights, for humans at least. They live for equal opportunity of outrage. You're half right. It's the mocking of something called feminism, but per the definition of most feminists, it's not in fact feminism. Jilsa Goodwitch, exactly. They are the opposite side of outrage culture. I have no idea what feminists you deal with, dude. Maybe you should try in other places. You ever thought that maybe the reason women don't like you is because you're a shitlord to them and not because they're uppity? Just for your consideration. What woman wouldn't like this guy? Look at this face. You know, he seems he seems like a perfectly handsome and nice guy. I mean, look at him. What makes you draw that conclusion? And look at your face, you know. This is Sargon's Law in action here. It's like everything. There are some people that do not know what something is, but still say they share the view. I've heard people that call themselves feminists say that all men should die. That's the opposite of feminism. That's being called an asshole. That's called being an asshole. Generalizing men is bad, okay? But all feminists are man-haters. Who are you? Oh, okay. Alyssa K, you got the irony too? I thought it was lost on you. Oh wait, it was. Never mind. You have to be like level 7 debater to be in here. You're like level 3. Victims in wars, largely men. If a man is sexually assaulted, everyone is like, bro, nice. I wish that was me. Who typically gets the children divorces? Not men, right? Who loses half of their paycheck even when their wives can work for themselves in many states? Men, right? If some dude kicks my ass, he gets high fives and shit. If he kicks females' ass, he's arrested. But yeah, big butts in video games is patriarchy. Gabriel Aranda, right. But they want to pretend it was all men who start wars and pay for wars and perpetuate wars, like women just stayed at home during the man talk of war. It would be, in fact, all the hippies were women, because men love war. Why would they protest it? It's not like this is a representational democracy or anything. My mouth is getting too dry to continue. If you were going for sarcastic irony, it was so satirical no one caught it, pal. You post stop stereotyping and then a stereotypical meme and people will point out that weak logic. If it was willful irony, then should make it that clear and not be a level 80 twat waffle with a side of ketchup pre-cum. Feminist child propaganda, DP. Let's just watch this. I've seen this before. Okay. Yeah, I remember this. Triggered, as usual. Aren't you the same guy saying generalizing all men is bad? Oh, the irony. We are all victims of patriarchy. The first one is feminism. That's what feminists want. Well, of course, I agree with that, but if we can't stereotype all Meninists as assholes, then we can't do that to feminists either. But all Meninists are assholes. Feminism isn't Meninism. Marxist feminism, liberal feminism. I love it when men denigrate the progress of modern feminism. Super red. Killian, it's supposed to be ironic, don't worry, he'll call you stupid for not catching the very terrible attempt at sarcasm that clearly no one other person got. When men denigrate the progress of modern feminism, okay. When gonna lose a valuable ally in me if you're not careful. Gideon Scott, do you love it when women do it too? Or is criticism of its methods only valid ever? Only valid never. It's just a sad state of affairs when men take the helm, like they should be the ones deciding on issues of feminism. No, they're not taking the helm. They're taking. Obviously, men can be correct and criticize things in the feminist movement, but men are not and should not be in charge. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, what kind of a man are you? Yeah, it's such a sad state that men feel the need to interject themselves into the decisions made to change all of society to reflect better ways to deal with issues that pertain to our daughters and sisters and lovers and mothers and friends and wives. Why don't we just sit on our asses and let you decide the fate of humanity for us? I mean, how does it really affect us, right? We're all just self-interested rape monsters. What the fuck are you? Exactly my point. Feminism is about the liberation of women who are oppressed by the patriarchy. The liberation of women requires you to make some sacrifices and lose some say in society. Good. If the liberation of women, yeah, because that means you had too much to begin with. This is what equality means. Jack shit. I'm not going around with that liberal shit that we can just elevate women to men's levels. We need to suppress men and elevate women. That's how we get to equality. Holy shit, guy. That doesn't mean oppression. It doesn't mean that we kill men. It means that we make conscious effort to make women have more power over society until men and women share the power equally. Let them fight for it. Let them prove themselves that they deserve it, because that's how you get power. Men always have made the sacrifices for power. You know? Maybe it should be the other way around, you know? Maybe women should sacrifice for a while. And that's actually the progress feminism has actually accomplished. You know, now women have to work for their cash. And they have to pay taxes too. This is equality. Not what you're saying. I mean, this is perfect. Lol. Men are objectified as drones workers. Women are objectified as sex objects. Go back to your hive, you worker bee. Yep, totally a thing said to men all the time. You nailed it, asshat. Look, they don't say go back to your hive, worker bee. You know, they do say go get a fucking job, you asshat. And not only that, women do call themselves queen bees, so what does that make us? You really have no... I really don't know where you get this from. Chris Young, don't date him, girl, he doesn't have a job. Thank you, don't talk to him. He lives with his parents. Honey, when you grow up, I want you to find a man with a nice car. Lots of stereotypes validate men as the amount of money they have. Don't pretend otherwise. Yep, that sure is a whole lot of things men used to say to women in the 1950s. Great argument. No, they still say it, and you have no idea. Funny how worker bees are in fact all girls. Yeah, exactly. But funny how the queen bee is also a girl. Chris Young, yeah, those sure are a lot of things their mothers used to tell them in the 50s, but I know women don't stereotypically raise children, though. That's a construct of the patriarchy. That isn't true, right? Women don't have any part in perpetuating stereotypes. Dad gets home and says, gather round, kids. Billy don't ever cry. Women don't find a weak man attractive, and Susie, don't sleep around because men will think you're a whore. Mom just kept her mouth shut in the background. Are you all fucking serious? Read a book, fuck. James Lewis, that is funny. But few people make the distinction between worker bees and drones on that level. Good call. I know, I'm being a turd. James Lewis, female bees to female humans is not a viable analogy, bruh. We don't give a shit. Alright. Your sister needs to stop making beeps. Okay, so alright, we've gotten up to the point where we started out in the previous video, so I think that's enough for today, for this morning, because I'm not putting it off anymore. Although I am anxious to see what kind of replies this is gonna get, but I don't think it's gonna get any. So I hope you enjoyed, everyone. I'm calling it a night or a morning or whatever. So I'll see you next time. Goodbyes.